Airframe Prepware, Hydraulic and Pneumatic Power Systems. When hydraulic system pressure control and relief units fail to function properly, how are most systems protected against overpressure? A shear section on the main hydraulic pump drive shaft. The purpose of an orifice check valve is to restrict flow in one direction and allow free flow in the other. Which seals are used with petroleum-based hydraulic fluids? Buna-N. Many hydraulic reservoirs contain a small quantity of fluid which is not available to the main system pump. This fluid is retained to supply fluid to the auxiliary pump. Which characteristics apply to aircraft hydraulic systems? Minimum maintenance requirements, lightweight, and simple to inspect. One of the main advantages of Skydrol is its wide operating temperature. After installation of a rebuilt hydraulic hand pump, it is found that the handle cannot be moved in the pumping direction, the pressure stroke. The most likely cause is an incorrectly installed hand pump outport check valve. After a hydraulic accumulator has been installed and air chamber charged, the main system hydraulic pressure gauge will not show a hydraulic pressure reading until the fluid side of the accumulator has been charged. A pilot reports that when the hydraulic pump is running, the pressure is normal. However, when the pump is stopped, no hydraulic pressure is available. This is an indication of a leaking accumulator air valve. Most variable displacement aircraft hydraulic pumps in use contain a built-in means of system pressure regulation. Refer to Figure 11. An AN flared tube fitting is referred to in which picture? 1. Which valve installed in a hydraulic system will have the highest pressure setting? Thermal relief valve. The air that is expended and no longer needed when an actuating unit is operated in a pneumatic system is exhausted or dumped, usually overboard. How would the air pressure charge in the accumulator be determined if the engine is inoperative but the system still has hydraulic pressure? Operate a hydraulic unit slowly and note the pressure at which a rapid pressure drop begins as it goes towards zero. The primary function of the flap overload valve is to prevent the flaps from being lowered at air speeds which would impose excessive structural loads. Quick disconnect couplings in hydraulic systems provide a means of quickly connecting and disconnecting hydraulic lines without loss of fluid or entrance of air into the system. Although dents in the heel of the bend are not permissible, they are acceptable in the remainder of a hydraulic tube providing they are less than what % of the tube diameter? 20%. The component in the hydraulic system that is used to direct the flow of fluid is the selector valve. Characteristics of mil-H-8446 hydraulic fluid are light purple color, phosphate ester base, fire resistant, butyl rubber seals. A flexible sealing element subject to motion is a packing. Which of the following safeguards ensures proper system operation and mitigates damage to non-metallic components of the hydraulic system? When adding fluid to a system, use the type specified in the aircraft manufacturer's maintenance manual or on the instruction plate affixed to the reservoir or unit being serviced. Generally, the first step in removing an accumulator from an aircraft is to relieve system pressure, which must be done before adjusting the relief valve of a main hydraulic system incorporating a pressure regulator. Eliminate the action of the unloading valve. Hydraulic system thermal relief valves are set to open at a higher pressure than the system relief valve. Unloading valves are used with many engine-driven hydraulic pumps too. Relieve the pump pressure. Which is true regarding the ground check of a flap operating mechanism which has just been installed. If the time required to operate the mechanism decreases with successive operations, it indicates the air is being worked out of the system. If the hydraulic system pressure is normal while the engine-driven pump is running, but there is no pressure after the engine has been shut off, it indicates no air pressure in the accumulator. What function does the absolute pressure regulator perform in the pneumatic power system? Regulates the compressor inlet air to provide a stabilized source of air for the compressor. Pneumatic systems utilize relief valves. Phosphate ester-based hydraulic fluid is very susceptible to contamination from water in the atmosphere. The unit in a hydraulic system that requires a certain action to be completed before another action can begin is called a sequence valve. Chatter in a hydraulic system is caused by air in the system. What safety device is usually located between the driving unit and hydraulic pump drive shaft? Pump drive coupling shear section. Hydraulic fluid filtering elements constructed of porous paper are normally discarded at regular intervals and replaced with new filtering elements. The main system pressure relief valve in a simple hydraulic system equipped with a power control valve should be adjusted with the power control valve held in the closed position. A unit which transforms hydraulic pressure into linear motion is called an actuating cylinder. Some hydraulic systems incorporate a device which is designed to remain open to allow a normal fluid flow in the line, but closed if the fluid flow increases above an established rate. This device is generally referred to as a hydraulic fuse. Extrusion of an O-ring seal is prevented in a high-pressure system by the use of a backup ring on the side of the O-ring away from the pressure. Which of the following is adversely affected by atmospheric humidity if left unprotected? Skydraw hydraulic fluid. Which is a characteristic of synthetic-based hydraulic fluid? High flash point. Using a hand pump, pressure of 100 psi has been built up in a hydraulic system. The hand pump piston is 1 inch in diameter. A half-inch line connects the hand pump to an actuating cylinder 2 inches in diameter. What is the pressure of the line between the hand pump and the actuator? 100 psi. Which statement about fluids is correct? All fluids readily transmit pressure. If two actuating cylinders which have the same cross-sectional area but different lengths of stroke are connected to the same source of hydraulic pressure, they will exert equal amounts of force and will move at the same rate of speed. Which of the following lists only desirable properties of a good hydraulic fluid that has chemical stability? Low viscosity, high flash point, high fire point. Which is a characteristic of petroleum-based hydraulic fluid? Flammable under normal conditions. Pressure is a term used to indicate the force per unit area. Pressure is usually expressed in pounds per square inch. A hydraulic motor converts fluid pressure to rotary motion. The purpose of the pressure regulator in a hydraulic system is to maintain system operating pressure within a predetermined range and to unload the pump. If a rigid tube is too short for the flare to reach its seat before tightening, pulling it into place by tightening may distort the flare. What is used to flush a system normally serviced with mil-H-5606 hydraulic fluid? Naphtha or Varsol. Seals used with a mineral-based hydraulic fluid are identified by which color code? Blue dot or stripe. When servicing aircraft hydraulic systems, use the type fluid specified in the Aircraft Manufacturer's Maintenance Manual or instruction plate affixed to the unit. Petroleum-based hydraulic fluid is which color? Red. What device in a hydraulic system with a constant delivery pump allows circulation of the fluid when no demands are on the system? Pressure regulator. The removal of air from an aircraft hydraulic system is generally accomplished by operating the various hydraulic components through several cycles. What happens to the output of a constant displacement hydraulic pump when the hydraulic system pressure regulator diverts the fluid from the system to the reservoir? The output pressure reduces, but the volume remains the same. Heat exchanger cooling units are required in some aircraft hydraulic systems because of high pressures and high rates of fluid flow. The installation of a new metal hydraulic line should be made with enough bends to allow the tube to expand and contract with temperature changes and to absorb vibration. In a typical high-pressure pneumatic system, if the moisture separator does not vent accumulated water when the compressor shuts down, a likely cause is a malfunctioning solenoid dump valve, a worn hydraulic pump shaft seal can normally be detected by hydraulic fluid flowing from the pump drain line, a cross-flow valve which is designed to bypass fluid from one side of the actuating cylinder to the other side under certain conditions may be found in some aircraft installed in the landing gear system.